Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone between Jason, welcome back to the rundown, a 10-minute testing report for the TCG. So in the wake of YCS Columbus, I figured we should continue our coverage of BLZD decks with one of the decks that I thought had a really good showing. While it did not win the event, somehow Draco Tail won of all decks. No, instead, this deck topped both in the TCG and Genesis tournaments. So, without further ado, please let me introduce to you, DoomZ.
Doom? Doom? Doom?
What in the world is Doom?
That's right, today we're taking a look at DoomZ, or DoomZ. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to be pronounced. I've been calling it DoomZ for the longest time, but then the entire YCS stream, they kept calling it DoomZ, so I guess it's DoomZ. I don't know. I'm still not calling Odeon Tombkeeper though. You can't make me. DoomZ has been a deck I've been very interested in a long time. When the deck first came out, it was seen as being very underpowered compared to Archmage, but I had a lot of fun playing it in Genesis format. Then they got a second powerful wave of support, which made it even better in Genesis format. Now, however, with the next wave of support, what I'm calling the Pendulum wave, as each Medius the Pure archetype got Pendulum support, DoomZ has been bolstered to even higher tier than the other Medius decks. What really stood out to me about the DoomZ deck is I always thought it was really interesting when decks play around with like unique mechanics. In the case of Elf Notes, they have the shuffling around with the main monster zone, but DoomZ has the interesting mechanic of destroying your own cards, whether that's on field, hand, or deck. DoomZ also features one of my favorite summoning mechanics in XYZ monsters, and goes further to the way I love Yu-Gi-Oh decks being made, decks that break the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! So DoomZ takes all these mechanics I think are really interesting and molds them together into one complete deck. All that aside, let's go over our card by card. First up, we have 3 copies of Alara, 2 Amalth, 2 Drasty, and 3 copies of Jupredo, the Shade Machine Power Patron. I should warn you guys, yes, there are pendulums in this deck. I did mention this is the Pendulum support wave, but we do not Pendulum summon. Anyway, Jupredo, the Shade Machine Power Patron, Pendulum effect. During your main phase, you can destroy this card and 1 Power Patron or DoomZ monster in your hand or face-up field. Then you can destroy 1 card on the field. You can use this effect of Jupredo Shade Machine Power Patron once per turn. Monster effect. This card is always treated as a DoomZ card. You can banish the top 3 cards of your deck face down, destroy this card, and if you do, special summon 1 Jupredo the Power Patron destruction from your extra deck. This is treated as an XYZ summon. Then you attach 1 card from your hand to it. If this card is added to your extra deck face up, you can add 1 Power Patron or DoomZ spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect of Jupredo the Shade Machine Power Patron once per turn. So one of the other cool functions of DoomZ you can see here in Jupredo, its comboing also lets you board break. A lot of DoomZ cards have this similar effect where when you use their effect, you just get a free destruction, some targeting, some non-targeting. And I think that's just really, really cool. Next up, we're on 1 Power Patron DoomZ, 3 DoomZ Change, 3 DoomZ Raiders, 1 copy of the brand new DoomZ Command Adrastea, brand new equip card. The first time the equipped monster will be destroyed in battle, each turn it is not destroyed. You can use each effect of the following effects of DoomZ Command Adrastea once per turn. During your main phase, you can destroy the equipped monster, and if you do, special summon 1 DoomZ monster to man's position except the destroyed monster from your hand, graveyard, or banishment. This card's engraved, you can target 1 face-up monster you control, equip it with this card, then take damage equal to the equipped monster's level/rank times 100. So like I said with Jupredo, we can use Adrastea to both board break and extend, using the effect to destroy one of the opponent's monsters, rather than just popping one of our own. And to round out our DoomZ cards, we have 1 copy of DoomZ Command Doomdirg and 1 DoomZ Destruction. And now on to our more, I don't know how to describe it, it's Power Patron package, I guess, which is 1 copy of Medius Pure and 1 copy of Vidolum, the Unstable Power Patron of Unity. Pendulum effect. You can activate 1 of these effects. Destroy this card, and if you use special summon 1 Power Patron monster from your hand or graveyard, destroy this card. Also, the rest of this turn, Power Patron monsters you control, whose original level is 12, gain 5,000 attack. You can use this effect of Vidolium, the Unstable Power Patron of Uni, once per turn. Monster effect. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by returning 3 monsters, 1 fusion, 1 synchro, and 1 Xyz from your field and or graveyard to the extra deck. Unaffected by monster effects, except Power Patron cards. If this card is added to your extra deck face up, you can add 1 Power Patron card from your deck to your hand. You only use this effect of Vidolium, the Unstable Power Patron Uni, once per turn. With this card special summon, banish face down all cards in the graveyards. So there's a lot of text on Vidolium that is pretty much never going to come up in this deck. It's more of the pure Power Patron deck where things like the actually summoning this guy come up, but the actual pendulum effect is what we want the most. Being able to reborn one of our Power Patrons is really good, whether that's to get Power Patron DoomZ back onto the board, or summoning Jupredo so we can use its field effect, or if you notice Jupredo is a level 10, if we have a way to, I don't know, summon 2 Jupredos, we can overlay for a rank 10 such as Verudras. Next up, we have 3 copies of the brand new normal spell Prohibited Power Patron Patrol Terminus. Send 1 Power Patron monster from your deck / to the graveyard, then you can add 1 Dark Fairy monster from your deck to your hand. Also, you cannot declare attacks for a turn except with Power Patron monsters. At the start of the damage step, if your Power Patron monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, banish face down that opponent's monster. You can only use each effect of Prohibited Power Patron Portal Terminus once per turn. So, we can combo by using Terminus, send a Jupredo to then add Vidolium, to then use the Vidolium Pendulum effect to pop itself, summon the Jupredo, then Vidolium effect to add, which will then add our field spell here, Plundered Power Patron Plain Vidolia. You can reveal 1 Power Patron monster in your extra deck, banish face down 1 card from your hand, then add to your hand or special summon 1 monster in your deck that mentions that revealed monster's name, except in its once per turn restriction clause. You can use this effect of Plundered Power Patron Vidolia once per turn. Monster your opponent control lose 100 attack for each banished card. Your opponent cannot activate the effects of cards in the graveyard while you control Nerva, Jupiter, and Junora. So that we then add this field spell, summon ourselves another Jupredo, and that's how we make our Verudras. It's a neat little package that both gets us started on plays or gets us protection for the rest of our plays. Then rounding out our monster lineup, we have 1 Therion King Regulus, Bestial Magnamut, Dimension Shifter, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Molcharmy Fulos. And then our non-engine spells in the main deck, we're on 3 Forbidden Crown and 2 The Fallen in the Virtuous. Alright, now onto our extra deck, we have 1 copy of Clockwork Knight. Very important if we ever end up with Jupredo on board and we want to trigger the effect when it goes to face up extra, but we can't destroy it for whatever reason, whether that's like destruction protection or we just don't want to activate anything into an opponent's board, we can then just link it off of this Clockwork Knight, which then will trigger its effect. Then we have 1 Albion and 1 Ecclesia of the Dark Dragon. This is just for our Fallen in the Virtuous package. Then we have 1 copy of Zeus Verudras, Gigantic Champion Sargas to search our Regulus, Merrymaker to summon the Sargas over, 2 copies of the Actors, and 2 copies of the brand new DoomZ over Graflaria. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon DoomZ over Graflaria by using 1 DoomZ XYZ monster you control, transfer its materials. You can only use each of the following effects of DoomZ over Graflaria once per turn. Attach 1 material from this card, add 1 DoomZ special from your deck to your hand, then you can destroy 1 card in the field. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can summon 1 non-XYZ DoomZ monster from your deck or graveyard. Graflario is an incredible card. Again, it has those effects that when you are comboing, it can be used to break the opponent's board a little bit. Graflario is also a big consistency tool, being able to search any of our DoomZ cards, and when it is destroyed, being able to reborn or special from the deck one of our other DoomZ monsters. Normally you'll be searching DoomZ Raiders with Graflario and then popping the Graflario with Raiders, so we're basically getting 2 searches and 2 summons, all with just this 1 Xyz monster. And then last up in the extra deck, we have 2 DoomZ Andrasteros and 2 Jupiter the Power Patron of Destruction. These ratios are not to play around like cool tune banishing one from the extra. We will usually end up going through both Jupiters over the course of a game, and it is really nice to have multiple Drasteros in case you have to make him turn 1. Now on to everyone's favorite, the side deck. We have 3 Solemn Accusation, 1 Called by the Grave, 1 Bestial Druid Swarm, 3 Molcharmy Perulia, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster, 2 Troll and Lock Bird, when the trap just isn't enough, and 2 Santa Claus. I'm not really sure why Santa Claus is the kaiju of choice. I was playing a Lava Golem in this deck at first, but then every single DoomZ list that topped the YCS was playing Santa Claus instead, so I just said, you know what? I'm gonna trust you guys since you top of the deck and I just watched you play. Speaking of watching someone else play, why don't we check out some games? Alright, here we are giving our one. Our opponent's playing one of those Dark Magician Azamina combo slop decks. The ones that just look to just send out Dragoon and a bunch of other Omni Negates. We're going second and we open Vidolium, Jupredo, Alara, Ash Blossom, and DoomZ Raiders. Wow, this Ash certainly has their work cut out for her. So they're going to lead Wanted in the draw phase to add a Diabell Star, playing our Droll Mockbird, I see. Alright, then they will go ahead and activate Shining Sarcophagus, adding them a copy of the Dark Magician of Black Magic. Then they will summon the Dark Magician, then also pitch a card, the Silent Magician 0, to summon Dark Magician Girl, adding another copy of Shining Sarcophagus. Well, that's a spell card and some Dark Spellcaster, so here comes D-Mod, which we will then Ash Blossom. Hopefully that means no Dragoon this game. They lead normal summon Rod here, Then add Soul Servant. This sets them up for the draw 2, which they will stack Magician Souls on top of the deck. Okay. Draw 2, could be anything. Magician Souls, pitch DM, summon the DM, and then special Diabell Star. Diabell Star sets Deception, which we will then overlay for Flare Metal. Really? That's what we want to do with that. Okay. Let's go Deception, tribute the Rod, adding Hollowed, activate the Hollowed, revealing Mu Rusilago, sending Deception, adding a copy of Wanted. Alright, Wanted 2, at least they can't activate that. Hollowed, bouncing Mu back to the extra deck, and then activating Hollowed, sending the Wanted from hand. Alright, well they have one negate at least. Ooh, let's go for an extra draw. Could be anything. Runic Golden Droplet. Okay, and then activating Shining Star for good measure. Alright, so we have to deal with an IP Masquerade and, oh, Droll Knockbird just in time. Okay, let's go ahead and activate Jupredo, take some damage, which they will then make IP to immediately banish it. Okay. Alara effect. Okay, sure. They negate Alara, but she stays on the field because it does not get destroyed, so we are able to DoomZ Raiders pop her to summon a Moth. A Moth is going to add us a copy of Drastia, which will then activate Vidolium. Vidolium effect, popping itself, and then adding the field spell. Oh my god, we're just getting burned for so much. Anyway, Drastia effect, make him untargetable, summon Drasters. We have to get rid of this Flare Metal. These minus 500s are annoying me. Alright, field spell effect, summoning Jupredo from deck. Jupredo effect, banishing 3 to summon Jupiter. Adding DoomZ Change. I'm going to go ahead and activate DoomZ Change, chain Drasters to pop it. So we're able to get the DoomZ Destruction to our hand and the Power Patron DoomZ in the back row. We'll just swing in on the opponent. We can't really do much else here, but they are down to just 1,000 life points. Amol comes back. That's certainly something. They will go Hollowed, put back their guy, add it back to their hand, Shining Sarcophagus, and we just chain DoomZ Destruction to our Drasters, which they cannot banish with SP because it is untargetable. It does still have Doom Dirk underneath there. Realizing that we are just back to our turn, they cannot target anything with SP, they are dead. Certainly not the greatest deck to show first, but I think we played that pretty well. Game number 2, and our opponent is on Kashtira. Why am I showing you this? Well, this is more of a cautionary tale. We're going second once again. We open DoomZ Change, Called by the Grave, DoomZ Raiders, Molcharmy Fulos, and Jupredo. Anyway, we're going to go Molcharmy Fulos in the draw phase, play around talents. They go Pressure Plant, Rate Salt, adding Fenrir. Okay. We're in for a game now, folks. Special Summon Kashtira Unicorn, adding Kashtira Birth. Activating then Metamorphosis to summon the last warrior from another planet. Yes, this is one of those times where I have to say, boy, are people online annoying. Number one thing I've been hearing since the limiting of Metamorphosis is that this is the exact thing we should expect to see happen a lot. Well, let's just show you why this is bad. Anyway, here comes Forbidden Crown. Let's go ahead and just negate the last warrior and activate DoomZ Change, popping Amal. Amal effect, adding Alara to our hand. Then we'll go ahead and normal summon that Alara. Alara effect, setting us the equip spell. We're just going to do the line completely normally. Just let's pretend like the opponent didn't even have a turn yet. So we go into our rank 4, then overlay Corflaria, popping the field spell. Do not want to deal with the stat changes there. We activate DoomZ Raiders to pop our Jupredo that we hard open to summon the DoomZ Power Patron, triggering the Jupredo to add the field spell. We then activate our equip spell, equipping it to the Power Patron, popping it, summoning back Amal, and then using the effect to add Drastia. Drastia effect, popping Change, summoning itself, and then equipping Doom Dirk from deck. We then summon the Drasterus. I tried targeting the last warrior there, completely forgetting that Crown also makes them unaffected by my effects, but I think we'll be fine. We activate the field spell, banishing to summon a Jupredo. We're just going to build a board the opponent cannot break whatsoever. Summoning Jupiter, equipping a card from hand, then using Jupiter, equipping a Drastia, reviving the Power Patron DoomZ. Power Patron DoomZ then ranks us up into Deactors. Why are we doing this? Well, let's just put a bunch of damage to the board here. Why don't we? Again, no TK, but we're going to do something very funny. Set a card and then make a 3-man Zeus. Now, Forbidden Crown effect wears off on Last Warrior, so now the opponent has this 1950 Last Warrior, and they cannot summon monsters. Alright, they draw for turn, go main 1, activate, rate self, and I just go, you know what? You're not adding any cards. Here's the Droll Knockbird trap, and they immediately surrender. Quite obviously, they locked themselves out of playing the game already. Don't play Cashed here. Game number 3 on our opponent is on Malice. Yes, Malice. Can you believe it? People still play Malice, and it's still putting up results. One what? Not the most recent YCS, the one before that, right? Anyway, we're going second once again, and we've opened Vidolium, Adrastea, Molcharmifulos, Jupredo, and Molcharmifulos. Sure, why not? Let's go Molcharmifulos in the draw phase, standby main, and they go normal, summon Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat banish March Hare add itself back. And then March Hare banishing White Rabbit to summon itself again. White Rabbit effects summoning itself to the board. White Rabbit then activating to set the trap card, which we're going to hold this Fulos until they go for that. Red Ransom summoned, adding themselves Malice in the Mirror. Which is going to flip the trap, banishing, and we go for Fulos, but one of the 2 cards they drew earlier was an Ash Blossom. Sure, you'll be under 1 Fulos, not 2. Whatever. So they go Dormouse, banish Chessy Cat effect, summon itself, and now they go for Heart Scripter, set 2 cards, and pass turn. Alright, we draw another Alara for turn. Well, we have a lot of plays now. Let's see if we can play this board. They flip one of their Mouse track cards, MTP07, banishing our Jupredo. Sure, let's go Vidolium. They summon March Hare, banishing Red Ransom signing itself back, then banishing a Chessy Cat from deck. Red Ransom, Heart Scripter, everything changed, banishing our Vidolium now, which isn't great for us, but at least we can still play the game. We go for Adrastea, activate the effect to destroy, which they reveal they have Dominus Impulse. Alright, let's go DoomZ Raiders. This is our last option here. Popping Alara, go Amal and Alara in chain. They have the Mouse in the Mirror, of course, negating our Amalf. Heart Scripter then brings itself back and turns itself to 5k. Alright, let's notice on the other Alara hand. Go Merrymaker Sargas. Sargas, get us Regulus, and finally we have a negate to insulate the rest of our plays. DoomZ change as we realize we don't have a machine in grave yet. Okay, adding Adrastea. Then we go ahead and go Regulus, equip the Power Patron, activate Adrastea, popping the Power Patron, getting Doomdirk from deck, and then let's immediately make Drasters. Drasters will then take the Red Ransom and equip the other equip card, and then we summon Graflario over him, popping the Heart Scripter. We're pretty much breaking the entire board here. Let's go into the battle phase, which, hey, we already had lethal on board. Again, Malice, not exactly the pinnacle of Tier 0 Yu-Gi-Oh! But I think we played through that board pretty damn well. So we're back with deck, and hey, that was pretty good. I know there's not a lot I can say that would convince someone to play this deck more than just seeing how well it did at the YCS, but let me try to go over some strengths and weaknesses. First of all, the strengths, the deck has an abundance of cards that just get you more and more searches for almost anything. This consistency is only bolstered by being able to play cards like Bestial Magnuma to also find you plays, because for some reason, our main deck monsters are dragons. Not only that, this deck plays very well under Dimension Shifter. We are playing it ourselves here at 1, but being good in our shifter also means we can play very well into Dimensional Fissure, which for some reason is very popular outside of Genesis now. The deck also leaves us a lot of room for flexible non-engine. You can see we have the Fallen the Virtuous package, we have Forbidden Crown, and we have plenty of space for other hand traps. Also, if we so choose, we could cut down on some of our engine cards in the extra deck and play some other rank 4 power players that we're just not even playing currently. Now, the weaknesses. First off, Droll and Lockbird. We search a lot. We really search a lot. So being Drolled is pretty much a death sentence. We're also not perfect into Molcharmi Perulia. We summon a lot from the hand. While we could do lines to play around Perulia, they just don't put up a strong enough board. The deck is also pretty weak into non-destruction removal. Things like that Malice deck banishing our cards would have been much worse for us if we hadn't Fuad and had a really big opening hand. And honestly, what I think might be the biggest weakness of the deck is if you don't practice enough, it's pretty easy to get lost in the sauce. I've been singing the praises of how redundant the searching ability of this deck is, but it is also pretty easy to miss-sequence or miss-search a card, finding ourselves in a position where we just add the wrong thing and that just cuts off a big part of our combo. Like, you might get a little greedy and go, oh, I can just add DoomZ Destruction now, but adding DoomZ Destruction early cuts you off from the change, popping it to then equip another guy from deck to get more things into rotation. There's just a lot of these little bits and pieces that are just so easy to screw up that this deck actually takes a lot of practice to play properly. But with all that said, I had a lot of fun learning this deck. At first, I was pretty overwhelmed with all the new options the deck had and all the new plays, but after getting to a decent skill level, I have to say I really recommend this if you are interested at all in the overall playstyle of DoomZ. Really, the deck has come a long way since we were just going Drasterus Pass. But I want to say thank you for watching this video. If there's a deck you would like to see me cover in the series, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.